You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry Sanderson on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
Florida still leads the series 3-2, but we'll have a Game 6 in Boston. Oilers get an Evan Bouchard goal with 38 seconds left to beat the Canucks 3-2 and even that series at 2-2.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Hey, good morning and welcome into a hump day edition of Inside the Locker Room. 205-342-9904 is the phone number if you'd like to jump in on the show with us this morning. The Twitter account at Locker Room, or X account at Locker Room 109, at Barry Sanderson, at Wimp Sanderson 1. Download the Tide 100.9 app. Send us an app message. We like to get app messages throughout the show, so send us a message to Tide 100.9. We will answer any question or read any comments that you guys have or something that you want us to, that's going on in sports or anything that you want us to talk about or announce. You can put that in the app or the email, and we'll be happy to talk about that on the show. It's a slow time of year. May is usually, other than baseball and the NBA playoffs, which I don't know how many people watch that around here, but we'll talk a little bit about that. But shoot us an app if you want us to do that. It's that time of year again. If it has to last and it has to be tough, withstand the elements year after year when it comes to building outdoors, it doesn't come any tougher than Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine from Great Southern Wood. For projects stands up against Mother Nature's best, be sure to head on down to your local Yellowwood dealer for Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine and lumber. It protects against rot, fungal decay, and termite attack. Get only the best for your next backyard project. And always remember, if it doesn't have that yellow tag on it, then believe me, you don't want it. Got Justin Jones behind the glass. He'll take your phone calls. Good morning, Dad. How are you this morning?
Doing okay. Wanted to mention that tomorrow night, Jimmy Rain has a big banquet where we send kids to college. It's really a big deal. Maybe a little bit bigger than normal with Coach Nick Saban being our guest speaker. We always have a big-time celebrity speak, and they're generally it's well attended. We'll have over 1,000 people there tomorrow night, and there'll be a lot of contributions made. A big golf tournament played on Friday, and so it's once-in-a-lifetime deal for these people, these sponsors and so forth, to get to sponsor something for Jimmy, and it's a big deal. So I hope some of you will be able to attend. One thing I'd mention about last night's games were that Jalen Brunson got 28 in the first half on his way to 44. Knicks go up 3-2. That to me is, it's a lot in a half. Joe Victor got 40 and 13 assists, which I think is big. Caitlin mentioned her game last night. She got 20, but she had 10 turnovers. They roughed her up. She didn't maybe get the calls she said that sometimes she got in college basketball. They roughed her up pretty good, guarded her pretty hard, pretty tough on her. And the 10 turnovers, of course, was way too many for her. But she got 20. They got beat in that game last night. A lot of talk about the opening games in college football already. One that comes to mind is fairly big is A&M and Notre Dame. Mike Elko, who came over from Duke and who used to be at A&M as new coach and is a defensive-minded guy. We had some people offensively that leave there. But I think he's going to be a pretty hard-nosed, tough guy to play for, and we'll see if A&M can get back where they belong. Of course, we're all around here are interested as well as Clemson and Georgia, and Atlanta and Florida and Miami will play as well. The 29th, FSU will play Georgia Tech, so that's big. Tomorrow, Barry and I will be talking a little bit about the PGA. I will mention one thing to you. Rory will play in the morning. Brooks Koepka is the defending champion. Rory plays at 7:15. Justin's going to play all right this down at 6:53. And Tiger is going to be right in behind him at 7:04. Nick will be at 7:21. Tom Hogue will be on at 12:13. He gets a break there. So those are the times for in the morning while our show is going on. You can have it on and tell me what's happening, or tell Barry what's happening. Actually, Waggy, I don't know pronounce that correctly or not. Wagyu. Excuse me. I think he was a transfer from West Virginia, I believe, to Alabama. Check me on that, Barry. Is moving on to play for Porter Moser. Porter Moser is a young man that Barry got me to hire in Little Rock when we were together. And Oklahoma is coming into the league, of course, so that will be pretty interesting there. And last but not least, which I won't go over any of the scheduling today, the game of the year already in basketball will be Arkansas at Kentucky. They're only going to play one time. They're not doubling up with each other, of course. Each one of them has only three teams that they're going to play. So if you get a ticket to the Arkansas-Kentucky game, you can sell it. You can be rich because they're all excited about that game already. That's it.
All right. So also in the that second game, and I know Tom was after game 1 and maybe 2 when Minnesota beat Denver. He talked about Naz Reid and all these guys and how well they, and he was right, how well they defended Jokic. Last night, Dad Jokic's line, where he was 15 of 22 from the floor, 2 of 3, got 40. Last night. So, the NBA is totally different than college. College is, if it was just a college deal, Denver would be gone, one game shot, and then they're gone. You in college, when you get down to the Final Four, should they play like the best 2 out of 3? Maybe at different home sites there. I know they won't do that because of the money, but that's totally different. That's why these terms, usually the best team will end up winning a 7-game series, or when the Nuggets were down 0-2, now they've won 3 straight and they're 3-2, and they're a big-time favorite to win the series. Obviously, it goes back to Minnesota. But over a 7-game series, most of the time the best team's going to win, right? If you stay healthy. It looks like Denver's had to do that. Just your thoughts on the difference between, playing the NCAA tournament where it's a 1-game shot, man, and you just have that one-off night and you're gone. But the NBA is a lot different than that. Quite different.
A lot different. You can have, and basketball is a game of each night. And as Barry's mentioned, each night, there may not be that you played as well that night as you should have. Could have. You missed the shot to win the game. Most of the time, you make the shot to win the game. And you have a lot of talking to do if you get down 2-0. It's the coach. You have a lot of adjustments to make, changes to make if you need be. Some rallying points, mentally. So as he's mentioned, it's quite different to go a 7-game series versus a 1-game series, and getting to the final 16 in the NCAA tournament is not easy to do because the 2 teams sometimes you play are really good, sometimes they're not so good, and then as you move on, you may get a lucky break in the 8 and go on, but you can also just falter, as he's mentioned, in the very first game, and maybe have the best team of all. So, in NBA, you have a long wait, and those fans all excited, trying to get things at 3-3, so you can have a championship game after
Yeah, I love watching New York. I love watching New York games in the Garden. They're fans, man. Whew.
They're great. Yeah, and also
great.
I want. Excuse me. I'm sorry. We have David Benoit on today, who played for me. David was a terrific player. We'll talk more. We'll talk more about it when he gets on. But I need to say that because he coached overseas, and when Barry can ask him about that, we talked a little bit about last night. Played for a long, long time. What a great player he was. So while we're talking pro basketball, while we're talking, he was overseas quite a bit at different places. I know in Japan at one time. So he'll be an interesting interview, I think.
Also, let me ask y'all, as you mentioned, Brunson, he gets 44 last night. Now, I know when Mark Sears went through the combine, the measurements, that probably did not help. They measured him right under 5'11". But he said that Jalen Brunson called him during the NCAA run. A lot of people compared their games. Does what Jalen Brunson's doing now, and he does play a lot like Mark Sears plays a lot like him, but not. I think Jalen Brunson's 6'2". Does that help maybe an NBA team look at it and say, that Sears kid is a lot like that. We should take it. I think this guy was a second round pick as well. I don't know. Check that, Justin. See where Jalen Brunson was picked. But does that maybe help a team pick Mark Sears the way Brunson's doing? You're seeing it right now. That might take a chance on him. He was a second round pick. Do y'all think that helps Mark Sears by how well Brunson's doing right now and everybody's watching it?
I think it does, because there's so many analytics, there's so many things for assistant coaches wanting to hit on somebody that nobody else takes. And those assistant coaches and those scouts, I just talked at Lane Odom, talked to him the other day about his dad. He's a scout for people. So I think Mark Sears is going to be, and it's not going to be in the first round. He's going to be a second rounder, and he may be mid-second round. But there are people that have studied this all their lives and want to be able to hit on somebody and feel good about what they did, and what the kid can do based on their play, not based on what the numbers say. The numbers are sometimes very good, very important, height-wise, weight-wise, speed's great, or bad, or questionable, whatever. His speed's good. But I do think to answer your question, it'll help Sears kid.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're an NBA scout, you're going to look at Jalen Brunson and say, hey, I could use a guy like that. And instead of maybe spending a ton of money to trade for him, you can go draft a guy that's just a little bit shorter but has essentially the same game. I know the news around Mark Sears as well yesterday, and you may have mentioned this and I wasn't listening. That's my fault if that's the case.
No, go ahead.
But the combine, I guess, game was yesterday as well, and he was a late scratch from that game with a reported injury. Nothing.
Yeah, I think he has a thigh bruise. Is what it is.
Both of them being left-handed just brings a little bit more emphasis to it to me. Had Brunson been right-handed or Mark been right-handed, you might not have felt quite. I don't know why it is, but the left-handers kind of remind you of each other. In my opinion.
My question would be, should Alabama put out video comparing him to Brunson and send it out, showing some of them doing the same thing? Now you're pushing him to get drafted. Or should his agent get some video together and have it? And
Alabama shouldn't. The agent
but it ain't Alabama's job to try to help him get drafted. At the end of the day.
I don't know. There is an absolute, and I wish I listened to a guy yesterday, not quite like we're talking about the controversy with NIL and money and what kids think they're going to get. This is not down the line of what we've been talking about, but it is a little bit. What they get, and all of a sudden they get there and they don't get it. I'm not talking about Alabama. I'm talking about overall. They don't get it. The guy who went in there and offered them and told them they could get it, he's changed jobs. He's gone. The agent the agents sometimes struggle with different things that was said, and then they change their minds. That it is a big. I'm going to try to get him on.
Well, when you don't have contracts, and then you say people hear what they want to hear, and they may hear a number. They say, "Well, you could make up to." Well, they may think that up to is what they're going to get,
right.
And so it's people hear what they want to hear in certain situations. 2-minute truck. They're at 1330 Martin Road East. That's where you go pick up your boxes, your packing supplies, whatever you need in preparation for this move. It's local, out of town, out of state. Moving is stressful. You want the professionals to handle it. They'll take great care of you and your stuff. Just give them a call today. They'll give you a free estimate right over the phone. 205-247-5050. That's 2 men in a truck. Movers who care.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Most of our attention has shifted now to the Moundville area. This is going to be Highway 69 and McPherson Landing. That's a little bit north of Moundville in Hale County. We do have a crash there that is backing up 69 both ways, particularly the northbound side. So if you're headed from Moundville up towards Tuscaloosa, you will lose several minutes here. Again, at 69 and McPherson Landing. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ray Romero.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. Prayers were offered at last night's Tuscaloosa City Council meeting in remembrance of 34-year veteran Tuscaloosa educator Shelley Jones. She passed away Friday at the age of 84. Council President Kip Tyner called Jones a legend in the community, and she had so much impact on so many lives. A memorial service.
6932, 800-480-6932.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental-car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance and is backed by an entire team of people you know and trust. Rent a Toyota and let's go places. Reserving yours is a breeze at TuscaloosaToyota.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A partly sunny sky today, the high in the low 80s, around 82. Clear tonight, the low 60. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warmer, the high 88. Friday becoming cloudy, a chance of showers and thunderstorms by afternoon, the high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 64 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Yellowwood pressure treated pine from Great Southern Wood. If it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, you don't want it. All right, I'm going to be a dad here for a second. They had their baseball, I guess, banquet last night. Everybody knows Jack was not able to pitch this year. He didn't play one second in the field. He did hit pretty well. I think he ended up, around 360 or something like that. He was around 400. But anyway, Coach Bell last night gave him what I thought was a very nice, I would call it a permanent captain, that he basically said he could be around his team anytime he wanted. He's only done that a few times, that he was a born leader, and what a leader that he was. And, I'm bragging on him now. He had a very difficult situation, but he was always the first guy in the dugout to congratulate his teammates after they were coming off the field. The guy pitched well. He could have sat over there and sulked about his situation. So there's my brag. I appreciate Coach Bell recognizing that, and over a tough situation there, that he showed a lot of maturity and handled it the proper way, and he'll bounce back from it, I'm sure. All right, get to the Yellowwood hotline. Good morning, Tom.
Barry, good morning. Good morning, Coach. And Barry, congratulations to Jack. What Coach Bell said about him to y'all at the banquet, I observed that on the game that I came and watched your team play. It's always interesting to me when a young man or young lady, whatever the case may be, what goes on between them and the teammates Jack did not disappoint. What a great kid. You should be bragging. I agree with you. Brag all you want, because I think that's a fine young man.
Well, sometimes when you talk about your son, people don't want to hear it. But in this situation, I know kind of what he's going through. And for him to handle that with class, I appreciate it, Tom. What you got this morning, my man?
Well, I want to talk about Jack more, but never mind.
No, go ahead. You can. Go ahead.
No, you cut me off. I'm going to go on. Coach, I came in today to be a hero, and I'm going to be a hero on your account at the banquet tomorrow night. What about that?
Okay. That'd be good. Thank you.
Okay, when you get done with that banquet, I'm expecting a reward for what I'm about to give you to make you a hero at the banquet,
Go ahead.
I'm just joking, Coach, but here, I do want to say this, and I think this will benefit you, and I'll leave it to your judgment and Barry's judgment to see if you think that's the case. Tomorrow night, when you get ready to introduce Coach Saban or whatever night it is, remember this, the first stop for game day is going to be at College Station for Notre Dame and A&M, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and now you can say, Coach, if you want to, give us a little preview of how you'll be handling your first time at A&M and Notre Dame on College game day, and we're real proud of you for representing on game day, and give us a little taste of what you're going to be putting out there on game day. Don't you think that's a great idea?
They're going to make me – I don't get to say much about the speaker. That, Jimmy has that honor. So I have to be a little bit – I am going to say a little something about when he and I played golf for the first time. When I didn't know him, he and I we played golf. I was in I told the story. I was down at Arnold Palmer's golf course fixing to play, and a gentleman walks up and wants to know if he can play with me. And it was Nick, and we played 18 holes, so I'm going to kind of make light of that.
Do y'all, will the golf tournament be at Wynn Lakes? Is that where y'all have the golf tournament?
No, I have it out at Robert Trent Jones.
In Prattville.
Okay, at the Legend.
Yeah. I think they got 27.
This year,
they got 27 holes there.
They'll have a good time, and all the people that buy Yellowwood and so forth will be playing with a coach. And most of the coaches don't play that much, but they'll enjoy the coach that they get. I'm sure they request a certain coach, and I'll have to miss this year, but I've always enjoyed it.
Well, I thought I was going to make a hero out of it. Never mind.
Well, I was hoping to be able to play, but then in her shape, I felt like I shouldn't be doing that, so I was coming back home.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, Tom. All right, back up to the Yellowwood hotline. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Hey, can I stir the pot a little bit today, Bear?
Stir it.
Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
How excited do you think the SEC is as far as other programs for those two teams being in as opposed to a Clemson, Florida State? I just don't feel it.
Dad, you think we're excited about Texas and Oklahoma? Texas, maybe Oklahoma.
I think more so Texas than they are Oklahoma.
Yeah,
personally.
I think Oklahoma's. I think they're down a little bit. Obviously, it's hard to get to either one of them, but yeah, I think the Florida State, Clemson, it's more on this side of the country. It'd be a lot easier to travel to get to the games over there. There's probably more of a rivalry. I think they're excited about Texas. Oklahoma, they could take it or leave. About like maybe a little higher than Missouri, but not much.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just wondering about that. I'm just not. I'm not feeling it, and I'm even talking to some people around here that I thought kept up with college football. That they'll ask me, are they in the league this year? Do they start next year? I mean, they don't even know, when they start, which befuddles me. But I was just kind of wondering about that. I'm not.
Well, A&M game will be a humongous game. We'll get
the Texas Tech Stadium game?
I'm sorry?
Oh, yeah. The Texas Tech Stadium game? Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be something else. Now, I would imagine game day is there for that game for sure.
Yeah, it will be. Sure.
Well, you don't know what's going on that week, and it depends on how they're doing. If one of the teams not doing well, the first weekend of games, ABC's going to get 3 of the big ones, obviously. The first one, which I think should be the last one, in my opinion, they're playing Georgia Clemson 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock this time. I would rather that be the prime time game. Then at 2:30 on ABC, got Miami and Florida, and then the best one, or the last one, I guess, the prime time is because it's Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame, Texas A&M. But I would rather flip that and have Georgia Clemson at 6:30. So, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I think they'll be all 3 of them be watched.
Oh, yeah, they'll all be watched. But, I guess because we're SEC guys, I would rather watch Georgia Clemson at 6 o'clock than at 11. But
for sure.
But all those games are ABC.
According to one of our callers, it won't be a game. Joe says that Clemson will get beat 40.
I kind of think they're going to play. I think that game's going to be better than
the line right now is 13.
Oof.
13. And the Texas A&M line, Texas A&M's favored by 1.5. And so let's see about Florida. Florida is I can't find it now. Florida, man, there's no line yet out on that game. I probably don't know who's going to be.
I got Oklahoma going 6-6.
Really, I hadn't studied their schedule. I
looked at it a little bit last night. I got Texas going 10-2, losing to Georgia, and possibly losing. I'm not sure yet who I think might beat them the second time, but it could be an upset. Maybe Texas A&M beat them.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We'll dig into this after David. I was going to maybe call back. I wanted to say, do you want to play your harder games early in case you lose, give you time? Like, Oklahoma's playing Temple, Auburn's playing Texas A&M, Alabama's playing Western Kentucky. These are games you're going to definitely win. Georgia, A&M, Florida, they're challenging themselves early, so they could possibly lose early, but give you time to make your way back. Be curious how these coaches lay these schedules out. I know they have no say-so in the conference, but this non-conference stuff.
I think with the 12 teams going there, it doesn't matter when you play, it's who you play.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know though. Losing late still, I think, can hurt you. So
it might.
Yeah. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's talk about Prince, Glover, and Hayes, and we'll get to David.
I have an accident that should have been caused by somebody being faulty with what they did. Whether it be steps, whether it be whatever it might be. Have an accident on the highways. Need some relief. Need some understanding of what you can do about it. Then Prince, Glover, and Hayes are the people to visit with. 345-1234. They've been down that road with other clients every day, and they're always a little bit different. You're always a little bit nervous and concerned about what's going to happen in your situation, and they can do the job for you. So give them a call, visit them on telephone, go by 701 Rice Mine Road if they decide that you need to go further with it. And I think that you'll find that they'll represent you very, very good after they leave that meeting. They'll be representing you the right way. 345-1234, 205 area code.
PrinceLaw.net is the website. I always remember if they don't win.
Header, double whammy, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry, only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. Pressure treated pine from Great Southern Wood. If it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, then believe me, you don't want. He's from Lafayette, Louisiana. Obviously played here at the University of Alabama. A great pro career in the NBA and overseas. We had him on not too long ago, and I know he's been a truck driver as well, so he does a little bit of everything. David Benoit. Good morning, David. How are you?
Hey, David. Good morning, Coach. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being on. Barry also, he's got 10. I think it's 10 kids.
Eight.
He's got 8 by one lady.
I got 10 total.
Oh, 10 total.
Yeah, we in the locker room.
So what do you do for Christmas, David? How do you get on? That's a lot of money.
Well, I put all of that on my wife.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, you had a great career for us. I know when Kevin Gray came back from up there, and he said he'd seen you at Tyler Junior College, and I said, he wanted me to come up there and look at you, which I did. Yeah. And he said, I said, how are we going to get him? Everybody in the world's after him. And for some reason, I'd written you a letter or something one time or something that didn't hurt. That didn't help get you particularly, but it didn't hurt. Tell that story again.
Well, you never knew about it, Coach, because that was my whole plan. I knew I couldn't get to a university straight out of high school. I wasn't really prepared because I'd only played 2 years. No one had really seen me, so the junior college gave me a lot of exposure, especially coming out of Texas. So when I saw you guys come around, I was happy about that. So I had already had everybody coming in, but I didn't, like I told you guys earlier, I didn't tell anybody about that. I already knew where I was going, but it was just a matter of just the time, and that's why Alabama was my last place to visit. And then that's when I made the announcement. As soon as I got off the plane, I said, no, I'm going to school here.
Talk about your experience at Tyler Junior College. It's probably shaped you as well. Sometimes guys go to junior college, they grow up, they get a little more serious about their academics, then they go to Alabama. But talk about your experience at Tyler, David.
Yeah, because Tyler was one of those top schools as far as academics, so the coach really got on us about that. Was letting us know, like, anything you did wrong, especially in the class, it would probably take away from you being able to participate on the court. So you always wanted to keep that in order and was always checking it. A lot of that stuff was a little bit more stricter back then for some reason, but it was. And, at my school. And so you had to get the class, you had to pass. And, I mean, if you wanted to get those big schools like you guys to pay attention to you, you wanted to have that rapport that, you wasn't only really good on the court, but you took care of your lessons. So, and Coach T was really good, and it really helped. It really helped me, got me ready for, I would say, Alabama, because, coming out of Louisiana, I wouldn't say it wasn't as disciplined when I got to junior college, but I learned really quick that, it was, you won a scholarship, but then, it was a business too. So you had to be prepared. And, I would say my overall experience was great because I won back-to-back, conference championships there.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So junior college was a lot of fun. I would always give that advice, if you can't get to university, the junior college route is not as bad if you go in and do your work. So, yeah.
Well, he were terrific for us. I can tell you right now, he ran the 5 lane about as good as anybody. We could get the ball to him at the bait, just terrific. After you left us, you can talk about playing for us if you wish, but after you left us and have an opportunity to play, we've got new listeners every day.
I know, but the opportunity came with you, Coach, because no one, being an all-SEC player, no one still, gave me a look. But when I believe you came back from I think it was an all-star game in Orlando, and you was hot because you was like, man, I seen these guys. I got a kid in Alabama who's way better than these guys. And you got me into the Chicago pre-draft camp, and I mean, it was after that, I took that opportunity, man. I just took off. And when the Lakers called me, I mean, that was the decision I had made to go into their camp, and which was really good because I got to prove or show a lot of different things that people thought just because I played at Alabama. They say, oh, he just played center. But, you know, they didn't know I could handle the basketball, shooting a mid-range jump shot, you know, and all doing those things and even creating your own shot because back then, I believe Dale Harris was running everything. And he's kind of one of those guys. He wanted to let you, he wanted to like, hey, the play break down, somebody got to do something, you know, so it was one of those things. And it was good for me. I didn't make the Lakers because I ended up getting a stress fracture. They don't take chances on rookies. So that's how I ended up in Spain for a year, which is all.
What happened after that? Yeah, tell your story about the playing part before the coaching part.
Before the coaching part, even going to Spain, my journey to Spain was also really good because that was actually my first time going out of the country. And I was being exposed to, especially playing against a host of different talents, guys that's playing out in Europe. I even played against guys like Tony Kukoc, Arvydas Sabonis, even back then. And it really helped me to really change my game. So by the time I got back to America for the training camps with Miami Heat and Utah Jazz, I was polished enough to where, you know, I was out playing on the floor. I learned just the different nuances of the game, especially learn how to plug holes defensively because you learn really quick that not everybody has those those little intangibles, you know, to play at that level. And some guys don't realize that's the thing that's missing. And, you know, most of the times for me, it was like I studied the film a lot. I studied a lot of the way players play. And that was the work you really had to do if you really wanted to be able to, I mean, let's just say now I'm on the court with John Stockton. You just couldn't be on the court unprepared with John, you know, day one. So, and John and Carl. So those guys were a lot smarter than it looked, but it's just the stuff we did. And I love the offense that we ran, even professionally with the Utah Jazz. And all those years for me was really good. That was a good place for me to be. I didn't want to leave at the time, but, you know, there's a lot of things that happen professionally that structures contract. And so when I got to New Jersey, when I signed the New Jersey Nets, I ended up getting injured. So that took me out for a year and having to learn how to do rehab all over again to get back to the game. And from there, I got traded to Orlando, and I was with Chuck Daly for a few months, who I really love because he's a player's coach. Chuck really just like, Chuck is about, if you're not ready to go, that's your fault. So I loved it because I was always ready. And then, you know, you get in the game, you do your thing, and, you know, he'll keep you out there. Yeah. So I would have loved to be with that Detroit team, that Bad Boys team, just being with Chuck for that short time, that would have probably been a whole lot of fun to see, like, because, you know, basketball was a little bit different than the way the game looks right now.
Yeah, somebody told me that John Stockton was a player who never, ever, one time bounced the basketball between his legs. Not ever.
No.
That's that.
No, he didn't. He could, but he just didn't. It's because the guy was always ready to pass. And it's amazing. I mean, it's like he knew soon as that ball coming up the dribble, you didn't know, but that ball was coming. And that's the thing with John. He was always prepared, always had the right angles, everything. And so him having the career he had was, I mean, he worked hard. I mean, he just worked hard. He really worked hard at it, you know, every day. And I got to be there with him and go for the ride for the time I was there. So, but he really is all that and so much more. Not even just, the basketball player. He's just a great human being, actually. So
it's such a good interview, Barry.
David, as these guys should prepare for the draft now. You went to Chicago for the pre-draft camp. There was no NIL then, but now Mark Sears is a guy. He's at the NBA Combine. When he measured him in, it wasn't great. He was 5'10.5", which is even more remarkable. Everything he did college basketball at that size. But a lot of people compare his game to Jalen Brunson, who is playing, like an MVP right now for the New York Knicks. Will that help a guy like Sears? I mean, you just got to get one team that likes you. His game is comparable. He's strong. This guy makes shots. What would be your advice to Mark Sears? And is what Brunson's doing now, will that make people take another look at Mark?
I think Mark would be fine because I watched him this year. He just has it inside of him, which is the heart.
Yeah.
To play and to go at. That's what you're looking at. So what you're seeing. So, and because the game is so much different today, because it's a little bit more wide open. It's not as physical as it was, but then you got to think. I mean, it was still guys like Muggsy Bogues when I played and Spud Webb, and those guys were shorter than him. But they had what Mark had, and that's what you're watching with Brunson. And it's not so much that those guys don't think that they're small,
right.
And if you got that, if you don't even have that fear, you one of the guys, then of course you learn how to get your shot off. You learn all these things of being, very intuitive of how to get what you need done on the court. I think he'll be all right. The game is perfect for him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, because he could shoot, and they letting him shoot those threes. I mean, I would love to play today because you don't get hit as much, but I wouldn't be shooting that many threes, but I'd be dunking on a bunch of people's head right now. I tell you that, because that's how wide open it is. Their lanes is open. I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, man, drive to the basket. It's wide open, like so.
What makes a guy like Jokic? I mean, you do, because he is just country strong. Like when you look at his body, he's got an old man body, but when he bangs you down there, and he's so crafty and he's such a great passer. What makes guys like him so difficult to defend?
You know what it is? Is the Larry Bird effect. It's not. It doesn't look like he's moving fast.
Right.
But his movements are really strong, but it's not only that, it's calculated. So everybody's moving at a certain speed of fast, and it looks like Joker is moving slow, but he's not. It's just that he is going at the right speed to do everything that you should be able to do playing basketball. It's just that, you see a guy overrun the offensive player the shooter, and he gets faked. Well, if the guy slows down, he can get that and stop. But Joker just have that. He just has that little intangible. He has it, he's actually really fun to watch because it's just the way he gets his shot off, man. It's just like, I'm just like, geez, I was like, it looked like you could block it, but it's like, he has it to where it's a slight fade, and then boom, and the ball goes in.
Yeah, he got, I think, 40 or 41 last night. So,
40.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah, they shouldn't have talked, they should have never talked anything bad about him, because anybody could have a bad game or two. But,
yeah,
this guy has it too. I mean, this guy has a lot of fire in him. So, I didn't think it was going to be easy for Minnesota anyway from the beginning, but they kind of shocked me early on because of their defense, and that's one of the things that they're not doing anymore. So.
Yeah. Well,
you went on from there to coaching, and that was quite different than trying to play. coaching these guys, getting them to play was a different ball of wax. Talk a little bit about that and what happened there.
You know, Coach, I don't know. You know, when you change when they started changing the game, when I can remember it, around, I want to say it was about 95, when they started doing the no hands off where you couldn't really touch guys no more. Because early on, you could hit guys. I mean, you could grab them. There was so many things that you could do, and it was like, and you had to really be creative, even offensively, to get the defensive guy off, which was kind of fun too at the same time, because now when you watch the game, there's so many replays, and a normal move where the guy's trying to affect the defense to get his shot off, even or to get a foul or and one, that's now like that could be an offensive foul now. So. I think they wanted to make the game safer, but at the same time, you know, once you add that element of competition, I mean, you get a team that don't want to lose, and they're gonna fight for it. So either way, it's gonna bubble up. I don't think there's no way to control that part. I think that's what they've been trying to get a control of. But the team that does come out and fight hard for it, they're gonna win. That's if you ask me. You know. You
were in Japan and where else, coaching?
I was once I was out of the league, one of the first places I went to China. I won with Yao Ming. I won a championship with him in China and Shanghai. And then after that, I was also in Japan. And then once I got to Japan, I just kind of stayed there. I was in Japan for almost 10 years.
Ooh, were you?
Really? I retired. I didn't really retire. I didn't really want to retire, but my body said, you're going to have to stop because my left Achilles went. So I gave the game both of my Achilles. And when my Achilles went in 2005, that's when I was like, you know, I was trying to work to come back, but it was just, you know, by that time my body said, hey man, it's enough. And then the team just, you know, asked me if I was going to come back to America, but they asked me to stay to help with the coaching. And that's kind of how I got into it. And they would ask me my opinion, and of course I'm giving them my whole Wimp Sanderson version of how you should run the team. And he said, I don't know about that. But, you know, Coach, you still had an effect on, you know, me and a lot of the guys. You know. How do you do that with a language barrier there, David? Coach guys that don't translators. Yeah. Always had, and the key is, especially getting over to the Japanese, is the translator. I would say early on, I learned, I was like, look, the guy who's translated, he has to be able to translate the English with the emotion that I'm good. Because you can't just say, no, I want this done. I want this done. You got to say, Coach needs you to get this done, Coach. But you need to say it like, you know. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And like, you know, I say, you know, and I say, you don't use the cuss word, but you know, that's to give you, I'm trying to, like, you need to move, like. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to put the emphasis, like, I need you to get this done. You're not doing this, or, you know, but you can't say it like the Japanese would say it real, because they're not trying to be rude in a sense. It's like the polite thing, but it's like, I said, I'm not saying that, but at this time, we're not doing that right now. This is what we need to get done. Yeah. And you need to say it that way, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Well, anything else? You want me to keep going?
No, yeah. You came back and jumped over.
I didn't come back yet. I went to the Middle East.
That's right.
Right after I left Japan, I went to the Middle East for a year. And I only stayed there a year. It was because it's not that I didn't like it. It was different. But like I was, you know, telling you, Coach, it's the politics of it. And then it became a whole, like I was, like I'm really running for mayor's job and all that stuff. So that part I didn't kind of like. I was kind of like, look, man, this is the record. You know what, I could do this and that if your team, whatever. And I really wanted to have more control or say of what's going on just with the team. I didn't want anybody interfering with that part because it messes up the chemistry when you have some other outside voice. So you keep bringing this other stuff in, and it's like what we trying to do, and it takes it away. So I always try to create that atmosphere where this is our safe place. No one else is involved with this, just us, and this is our mission and what we're trying to get done. And if you have anyone interfering, even if the assistant coach says something out of line or something that's not, it could just throw the whole thing off. It's a really, that's how I said I learned it's a really tough job, being a head coach. So like what Coach Saban did was miraculous. It was awesome, man. I'm serious.
No, I know.
To keep everybody in line, to keep like the messaging, everything. It's like all that stuff is like for you to be successful. Look, just to win a game, And if a lot of teams look at it that way, where they would give the coach a little bit more handle where they like, and everybody stays in line, the games will get even more interesting. But you could tell the breakdowns in certain teams. I thought the Lakers should have did better. I'm still kind of a Lakers fan, but I just thought they could have did better. But you could see something else is going on psychologically with the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lead the team in the first half, and then all of a sudden you're going like, what is going on with that? So that's a breakdown somewhere that's going on. No one is looking at it, but that's what happened. But I don't know if a new coach is going to be able to come in and do that.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Like, it's always one man opinion.
Yeah. Coaching Lakers is tough. So, well, David, we appreciate you taking time to be on with us.
That's great.
Very, very interesting stuff. I just had a guy that listens all the time and just texted me and said, not anything to do with us, but with you. What a great interview. So people here back in Tuscaloosa and really all over the country have people listening everywhere, and I know they've enjoyed listening to you today. So we appreciate looking forward to having you on again sometime soon.
Yes. Let's do it again.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Coach.
Get those 10 kids in line now.
Start buying those Christmas presents now.
Hey, my wife has got a handle on that. But Coach, I want to say always I appreciate you. From day one, I know I made the right decision going to Alabama, and I just want God to continue to bless you and your family.
Well, thank you.
Always.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, David. All right, there's David Benoit from Lafayette, Louisiana. Spent a lot of time. Done a great job. All right, we'll take this break. We want to thank Yellowwood. They made this 7 o'clock hour.
That word so you don't forget that it's not just for late night.
Introducing the new Cantina Chicken Menu, Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for participation restrictions.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A partly sunny sky today, the high in the low 80s, around 82. Clear tonight, the low 60. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warmer, the high 88. Friday becoming cloudy, a chance of showers and thunderstorms by afternoon, the high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 66 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental-car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance and is backed by an entire team of people you know and trust. Rent a Toyota and let's go places. Reserving yours is a breeze at TuscaloosaToyota.com.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles,
Here's Eddie Garcia.
In the NBA playoffs second round action, the Nuggets knock off the Timberwolves 112-97. The defending champs were led by league MVP Nikola Jokic, who had 40 points and 13 assists, as Denver is the first home team to win so far in the series. For Minnesota, Anthony Edwards was held to 18 points. Timberwolves have lost 3 straight for the first time all season as Denver takes a 3-2 lead in the series. Knicks bounced back for a 121-91 win over the Pacers. New York lost in Game 4 by 32 points. They come back home, win Game 5 by 30. He's led by Jalen Brunson's 44 points, his 5th 40-point game this postseason. New York takes a 3-2 lead in the series. NHL playoffs second round action. Bruins avoid elimination with a 2-1 win over the Panthers in Florida. Florida still leads that series 3-2, but we will have a Game 6 back in Boston. And the Oilers beat the Canucks 3-2. Evan Bouchard, game-winning goal with 38 seconds left. That series is tied at 2-2.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the Locker Room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the second hour of Inside the Locker Room. That was interesting. You don't speak the language, so you have an interpreter. You know how difficult that would be to try to coach, and they don't speak your language, and you're trying to say something, and you say it in an aggressive tone. Sometimes, like, you know, the player needs to hear it, so then you need to translate, and you don't even know what is the translator really getting the message across that you want. So he may be saying, this coach is great. You think he's
through you is hard.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew Kniffer, he's not hard. He's my Allstate insurance agent, and he'll take great care of you. Give him a call today. You look for Home Life Auto. He will take great care of you. As I said, he will find the perfect policy for you. Nobody likes insurance. Nobody likes paying for it until you need it. And when you need it, you want to make sure you got the right coverage. So give him a call today. He can look at everything you got. 205-722-9201. We'll swing out the studio. We'll turn left on Skyland Boulevard. We'll get down to Tuscaloosa Toyota and get Justin Trolling. Good morning, Justin. How are you?
Hey, Justin.
Man, I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
We're good. We just talked with David Benoit, and he talked about coaching over seas and had a translator. So maybe we need to get a translator for you as we try to talk to you about Tuscaloosa Toyota. But how many cars are we up to, Justin? Now we're starting to get to the middle of the month. What are our numbers looking like over there?
Yeah, we have sold 160 so far this month.
160. All right, you're about halfway there. You're going to hit that 300-something mark again, though, correct?
I would think we would, yes. Latter part of the month will be a little bit busier than the first part of the month, so hopefully we'll get somewhere in the mid-300s, yes.
Yeah. Tell us some of the hot vehicles that people are loving over there.
So the first edition Land Cruiser just hit the lot about a week ago, and I sold it to one of my clients yesterday. We put a lift kit on it, tires. It's the first edition, and the reason it's the first edition Land Cruiser is the old style like you see in the old classic videos and such. But I sold that vehicle yesterday, the first one to hit the lot. There'll be many more of them coming. That just happened to be the first one, but it's already gone. It didn't last no time, and so we're anxiously anticipating all of those Land Cruisers hitting the lot. We know they won't last long. So that's one that everybody's excited about right now. The 25 Camry has hit the lot. It started hitting the lot about a week and a half ago. And that's probably, and obviously things get better and better with time, but that is definitely the best looking inside and out Camry that I've ever seen. As far as being excited about something, that's probably the most excited I've ever been about a Camry. That thing is really nice. So it's something to see. We've still got 24 Camrys on the lot.
Oh, did you say 25?
Yes.
Justin, slow down live. We ain't even gotten through 24 yet, and you already got 25s on the lot?
Well, normally when Toyota releases something new, a redesign like this, it'll be early in the year. Normally the 25s don't hit the lot until after summer, sometime in the fall. or even the winter. But since this is a new total redesign, and we've still got 24 Camrys that are left over with special incentives. But yes, that 25 Camry just hit the lot. So looking forward to selling many of those.
What kind of previously owned cars do you have?
Yeah, and so we try to keep, here's the deal. When you start getting those Land Cruisers and Grand Highlanders and 25 Camrys and stuff, that's what people come to see, and that's where you get the good trade-in. So when you've got all of those new cars on the lot and you're selling, I think the number right now is 91 new cars that we've sold this month. So when that happens, that's where you get a lot of really good, slightly pre-owned inventory. And so right now our inventory is, we've probably right now for the year got the most used cars we've had on our lot. It's stacked up pretty good. So all those cars run through the shop and, they get the lifetime warranty as well, just like the new cars. So there's a ton of used car inventory on the lot right now.
All right, we've talked about the website, but some people, maybe they're out of town and they can't get down there. Really, the website is also very good, especially somebody who's experienced that doesn't scare them. Talk about that and how they can utilize that, Justin.
Well, the first thing you got to have when you run a successful place like Tuscaloosa Toyota, the first visit you get from somebody is at the website. It's not, most of the time it's not on your lot. People just like going to Amazon and doing Christmas shopping. People want to go and they want to see things online. They want to look at reviews. They want to see something before they get there so they can go to the website. It's the easiest thing in the world to use. We just revamped it. Totally new website, and it is easy to navigate. And you can find anything you want right there at the website. And it doesn't have to be looking at a new or used car. It can be a rental car. It can be financing. It can be service. Whatever it is, you can find it very easily right there, at TuscaloosaToyota.com.
There's also, I know when you go on there, if you want to chat with somebody there at the dealership, you can do that as well. So you guys are making it easy for them. If they want to talk about inventory or anything with somebody right there, they can have a conversation right over the computer with them, correct, Justin?
Well, and just to give you an example, yesterday we have about 5 ladies that intercept all of those phone calls, all of those chats online, conversation starter. We got a guy that reached out to us yesterday from Arkansas, and we sell vehicles. If I told you just in a month's time, people buying from us from out of state. Like the other day, I sold somebody a used vehicle from Oregon. I mean, we get so many different types of trade-ins, but yesterday we had somebody from Arkansas and they wanted me to help him, and it's a Jeep that's on our lot, a 22 model Jeep that's kind of a rare vehicle, and he was telling me, man, how do y'all have this? How did y'all get it? I have to answer all those questions, but he jumped online, found it. He calls in because he wants the vehicle. So one of our ladies intercept a phone call, and then we get it rolling. He does all his financing, sets up everything, looks at the Carfax. Everything he needed to do was right there online, and he was able to do it in no time before he ever even made the phone call to us.
I think I'm going to get on there and ask him if you're any good. I think I'm going to say that.
Yeah, do that.
Is that Justin sales guy? Is he any good? See what they say. What do you think that's?
Yeah.
Huh?
Say, just ask him. Just ask him. Say, man, does he ever work? Does he do anything? Does he sell any cars? Just see what kind of response you get, and I'd like to see. Yeah. We can go live with that next week.
See. If
hey, how would Wimp? Hey, let me tell you something. You was talking about when I heard y'all when you were coming on. I was listening, and you were talking about an interpreter. I tell you, one of the most difficult things in 14 years, for me has been when somebody from a different language comes in and tries to buy a car, but there's so much technology now. There's apps on your phone, different ways that you can kind of relate and talk to somebody, but not just in sports. I mean, in anything, just like what we do, somebody that doesn't carry the same language we do that comes in, but there are different ways at Tuscaloosa Toyota. We do have guys in the back that actually, if it is a language barrier or something, we've actually got some resources at Tuscaloosa Toyota to make it real easy. That has been nice.
Yeah. Has anybody left that hybrid running all day? It's so quiet. Does that ever happen?
You know, I told y'all last week I had somebody come into that listened to the radio show that come into the dealership and ask about that story with Wimp doing that. Hey, listen to this. The Camry, the new 25 Camry, all hybrid. Hybrid, you know, got just like Wimp's car. It's got the gas engine, got the hybrid component. Every single Camry is equipped that way. Tons of horse. A lot of people don't understand the hybrid, technology, but the hybrid gives you a different component, which gives you better gas mileage, gives you better, torque. It gives you better performance overall, horsepower, all that stuff. So, yes, but that car will sit there very quietly and run, and you'll never even know it's on, just like Wimp found out when he got out of his car at Coleman Coliseum.
I just messaged that lady. She said, "Oh, he's always on the phone. I'll have him call you when you get off the phone." So I'm just kidding. So you better get off the phone. You better get off the phone and go sell some Toyotas. We look forward to talking to you next Wednesday. Have a great week. Have a great week.
Hey,
Justin.
y'all have a great week. Looking forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you, my man. Go to TuscaloosaToyota.com. Obviously, you go down Skyland Boulevard, see Justin, David, whoever there, and they will take great care of the 25. What? It's not even June. We got the 25s in? I don't understand. So anyway, go check that new Camry out. That's a nice vehicle. All right. Why am I echoing? I'm echoing. Hear me once is enough. We don't need to hear it twice. All right. We'll take the break here. Alabama baseball travels to Auburn tomorrow. And 3-game series there. Auburn, this is it for them. They are not going to Hoover. So we'll talk to Bill Cameron. Does Auburn trial a bunch of guys to kind of look at them, or do they bear down? And I'm obviously going to try to win the series, but what will be the mindset of the Auburn Tigers? Sometimes they'll play really loose in this situation. Alabama, they could go down there and sweep, even their record to 15-15 in the league, which would be a great start for Coach Vaughn and his staff his first year. So we'll talk to Bill about all that and everything with the Auburn Tigers. You listen to Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We're still looking at our accident in Forkland down in Greene County. You're going to find this working along northbound 43 and Steam Plant Road. However, it is out of the roadway. No lane blockage there. Along 2059 from the 359 out to Skyland Boulevard. That's going to take you about...
National nonprofit offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Years ago, Jimmy Rain decided that the best way to advertise Great Southernwood was through coaches. Gene Stallings, Pat Dye, Steve Spurrier, and myself, and many more coaches took to the radio and TV airwaves to tell people that if you're building outdoors, the only way to build is with pressure-treated pine, yellow wood. It is the very, very best. Why? Because all the coaches said yellow wood, pressure-treated pine, protects against bug, termite, and weather. Decking, fencing, play sets, whatever you're wanting to build, just go to the internet, look at
KPF 5480X RE771137. Julio Jones Kia at 4301 Greensboro Avenue, Tuscaloosa, or 24/7 at buyfromjulio.com.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance and is backed by an entire team of people you know and trust. Rent a Toyota and let's go places. Reserving yours is a breeze at TuscaloosaToyota.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A partly sunny sky today, the high in the low 80s, around 82. Clear tonight, the low 60. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warmer, the high 88. Friday becoming cloudy, a chance of showers and thunderstorms by afternoon, the high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 68 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Two-time state champion and two-time NIT champion, Barry Sanderson breaks down the latest in sports on Inside the Locker Room on Tide 100.9.
back to Inside the Locker. We appreciate Justin being on with us. Appreciate David Benoit. You missed any of the interviews, you can go to the Tide 100.9 app, and you can listen to the podcast. And also shoot us a message on the app. We got one. Somebody said they were listening from, I don't know if I've ever heard of this. I'm going back here to it. They are from, you ever heard of Lafayette, Tennessee? I've heard of Lafayette, Louisiana, but not Lafayette, Tennessee. So anyway, we appreciate Josh listening from there. All right, we'll get right to the Yellowwood Hotline. He's with ESPN 106.7 The Drive down in Auburn. Opelika joins us every Wednesday. Bill Cameron. Good morning, Bill. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Barry. How are you guys?
Very good.
How are you?
Let's talk.
Pretty good.
Let's talk baseball here first. Alabama comes in tomorrow. I don't know if Auburn's put out their pitching staff. They did go out to Missouri and win their first series of the year. Obviously, after this series, this next 3 days, the season is over for Auburn. Alabama will still go to Hoover, hopefully play in the NCAA tournament, which I'm sure they will, just no matter what seed they're going to be. But what will be the mindset of Auburn? Do they try just a lot of guys to kind of see what they got, or they just go with their main guys because it's Alabama-Auburn? What do you think will happen, Bill, as far as that goes?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question, Barry. We were talking about it a little bit yesterday, and we get a chance to talk with Butch this afternoon. We do spend some time every week with Auburn first baseman Cooper McMurray, and I mean, this is something obviously nobody had in mind that the season would be coming to the end here at the end of the regular season. They've been playing some more younger guys down the stretch, but I think since some of the older players, it may be their last time out at Plainsman Park. I think they'll get their shot too. So I think Auburn wants to go out strong. They had a game weathered out last night at Samford, so. These are the last 3 games. They're going to finish just playing 53 games, missing 3 games this year. But they for the first time all year, they got decent starting pitching along with hitting. Now the bullpen still was a big struggle this past weekend, so they're still trying to figure that out. But no, I mean, I would imagine that Chase Alsop, I mean, who has really pitched well his last couple of times out, and he's a junior that has outstanding stuff. Started the season off as Auburn's Friday night starter, moved to the bullpen with some struggles, and has come back. I'm sure he'll be one of the 3 starters this weekend. And then Christian Herberholz, who's been in and out of the rotation as well through 5 shutout innings this past weekend. So I would think those 2 guys will be 2 of the starters. They're still not going to have Bobby Pierce, who, came back for an extra year this year, and it's sort of just been a lost year for him with multiple injuries, including a hand injury. But Ike Irish has finally picked it up here down the stretch, and Auburn would love nothing better than knocking off Alabama a couple of times. I mean, the thing is, I think Alabama needs a couple of more wins to assure themselves of a spot in the NCAA tournament. Usually, that bottom line is around 13, and that doesn't guarantee you a place in the NCAA in the field. But 12 generally does not get you in. So that's I think Auburn's looking to see if they can knock Alabama out of the postseason as well, or do some damage at least to their postseason thoughts.
Yes, that.
Basketball-wise, the conference schedule came out, and I think I can't remember. Auburn plays Georgia twice, Alabama twice, and Ole Miss twice. So I think that's a decent schedule for Auburn, and of course everywhere is hard to beat on the road. Personnel-wise, are they still trying to add to, take away? Where are they there with their personnel?
Yeah, they're still looking for 2. I mean, the guy that they have right now, I believe, still on campus is Dylan Mitchell, who was one of the top players in the country coming out of high school 2 years ago, signed with Texas, and averaged just under 10 points and 8 rebounds a game this past year for Texas. Now, Cincinnati, Ohio State, there's somebody else that's in there as well, are very interested in him. He's a guy that sure would be a guy you would think might be able to come in and start at the 4 where Auburn has Chaney Johnson. It's been tough, Wimp, for Auburn, for Bruce to try to find guys that will come in and not expect to be guaranteed a starting spot, and that's the situation.
Yeah, that's hard. You're right. That's hard. Difficult.
Yeah, so Mitchell is the guy that they're targeting right now in the front court. Back court, we really haven't heard much more. There was, there was some talk last week. Auburn had a Zoom call with Dior Johnson, who was, he was one of the more highly touted kids in the country coming out a couple of years ago. Committed to a couple of different schools, went to Pitt, and he got into some serious legal trouble at Pitt and was dropped from school. Was at junior college this past year. I haven't heard anything since then. Don't know if Auburn's still even pursuing, but he's a guy that if Auburn signs him, there will be an awful lot of scrutiny because he's a young man who is got some serious baggage with him. But I know Auburn did Zoom with him, but they haven't, at least as far as I know, they haven't set up a visit from him. So they're still looking for some help in the backcourt.
Yeah.
We're talking with Bill Cameron, ESPN 106.7 The Drive. Bill, Hugh Freeze came out and said, I don't know exactly, but you can clear it up for me, but he didn't want to spend $1 million to go get a quarterback. And I guess maybe he's saying he's comfortable who they had there. I don't know why he said that. Nobody wants to go spend $1 million. I'm not saying Auburn even should. Is that something that he should even mention, or just talk about the guys that you got, not talk about spending $1 million? Now, if this guy doesn't do well, will people say, well, we didn't go out and try to improve our quarterback room? So who's surprised? Did you like that he used that figure and said that? I guess that was last week at the Regions.
Yeah, and he's said similar things, not really mentioning the dollar mark. He probably is not. He may regret just saying the number, but the thing is, he's been asked over and over again, why didn't you go after a quarterback? Why didn't you go after a quarterback? Well, I think the point is, and he said just in the last day or so that Auburn's about at the NIL place that they need to be competitive with anybody. But the point, I think, the point that he's trying to make is, all right, there are two things that go into this. First of all, you'd better know that you're getting somebody better than what you have. You're always looking to upgrade your roster, so you'd better get somebody who's better than what you already have. And the other thing is, there is a limit to how much you can spend overall. And what he had to look at was, did he think Auburn would be better off if they went out and did bring in a top-notch quarterback, or a quarterback who they thought would definitely be an improvement, but then not be able to have the resources to bring in players around him, to bring in that left tackle, to bring in that proven wide receiver, to bring in some proven players over on the defensive line. So, you have to sort of look at it as, are you better off by adding a starting left tackle, 3 guys on the defensive front, and a couple of proven wide receivers, and then hope that really helps your overall team, and that your quarterback can take advantage of that? Or if you bring in a quarterback, it's sort of like, look at the NFL. Many times you've seen that number 1 pick go to a quarterback who goes to a team that just doesn't have the protection or the talent around the quarterback. And it's not the quarterback's fault, but the team's not going to be better. Whereas if NFL teams obviously don't get the option of either taking a quarterback or 5 other guys. But I think that's the situation that Hugh was trying to explain to folks.
Yeah, that.
Recruiting wise, I get rumors that some schools are paying the players, or paying guys around the player, where they give the money. I don't know if it makes any sense or not. They give the money to people who are close to the player, and they kind of deal it out because there's been so much promising of this and promising of that in the NIL deal that it's been a bigger mess than people think it's been. But when they're promised something, that coach has changed his jobs. He hadn't really talked to the head coach. They're going to get up to almost, it's. I don't know if you have any comment about that, but that's a fact. I didn't know if you wanted to comment on that or not.
No, that's something I wondered. I've wondered about that as well. I mean, because obviously there are people of influence around players as well, and that's always been one of the things that the NCAA back in the day. That was what the NCAA was concerned about. Sometimes they couldn't really do much about it, but there's more concern about those guys or those people that are, that really have a lot of influence or a lot of say, and can either make decisions for or really influence the player to make the decisions on where to go. So, yeah, that's a thing that I don't know how you police that. It's crazy. As crazy as the whole thing is right now with the direction we're moving, I don't know how you'd ever be able to police that.
Yeah. Your thoughts about Oklahoma, I guess, and Texas are coming in. I guess June 1 they start. They got the Red River rivalry. It's a big game there. No divisions now, so it'll see how it plays out. I don't know what the tiebreakers are as far as who makes the SEC championship game. Just your thoughts about those guys coming in now and no divisions in football. Do you like that, Bill?
Well, I mean, if we get to 9 games and can play that balanced schedule, yeah, I like it fine. I mean, I think it gives you a chance of having your 2 best teams playing for the conference title every year, although the third team might be sitting back going, that's great. Somebody's going to get knocked off, and it may help get me into the 12-team playoff. But no, I like it. I mean, there have been complaints about divisions, and if one division's stronger than the other, that certain teams don't have to run the gauntlet that other ones do. I know everybody's schedule is not going to be balanced or fair every single year, but it's much fairer than it's been. I really like it. Man, I mean, just one of the things you look at is you look at the softball situation. I mean, the SEC is so good in every sport, but now in softball, with every single team in the conference, Bandy, of course, being the exception because they don't field a team, everybody's in the field, and then perhaps the top 2 teams in the country are Oklahoma and Texas coming in. But it's going to be like that in every sport. It is. It's going to be so tough, but I like it. I like the idea of being able to get the best 2 teams, the top 2 teams to play. I just do hope that we go ahead and get to that 9-game football schedule.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing, when you get to the season, I think the NIL talk kind of goes away, and then these coaches are going to get criticized or praised, probably too much criticism, too much praise based on how they do. But, there'll probably be a lot of staff meetings as they get through the season. Teams aren't doing successful. Say, hey, we got to change our philosophy here. We're going to have to spend money like these other schools are doing. There's no way we can keep up. I think the way these guys run their programs will be determined during the season by how successful they are. Don't you, Bill?
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing is, with the situation that we have right now, I think a lot of places are hoping or even expecting that this is something that there will be a settlement before too long, or multiple settlements before too long, and it can at least cap or curb what's going on. But yes, if you're not there and don't have the resources to go head to head with anybody, I'm talking NIL wise, then you stand a chance of falling way behind. And then once there is some kind of cap or rules, things like that, it's going to be even tougher to try to get caught up.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else. I can't think of anything else I need to ask you. Really,
I want to ask you, Bill. Why did Auburn set their football schedule up like this, where you play your first 5 at home? Is that for calculated? Is that just how it fell? You got obviously 3. I guess Oklahoma's not non-conference anymore. You do have 3 non-conference games right there to start the season. Alabama A&M, California, and New Mexico, which you would think those are winnable. Then 2 conference games at home as well. Did they set it up like that on purpose? What's the thought there?
I'm not sure, and that's something that, as a matter of fact, that's something a couple of folks said. Let's ask either John Cohen or Hugh the next time we get a chance to talk to him, find out was this something that they had any hand in. Now, it sort of makes sense though when you're trying to build some confidence, and you've got as many new players as Auburn does this year. I think it's a good opportunity to try to do that. And you sort of slowly build up. You've got 3 non-conference games, then Arkansas, and then you've got Oklahoma, which should be another step before you hit the road to go to Georgia. So it makes sense now. The thing is, you'd better win those first 4. If you lose one of those first 4, then there's going to be an awful lot of second guessing.
Yeah. First 4, obviously, Alabama A&M, California, New Mexico, and Arkansas, and then Oklahoma coming in. Then, you go 5-0, and you're going to Georgia. In Georgia, that's right after the week they play at Alabama. So it sets up to be nice. Them going 5-0 to Georgia. That'll make that a humongous game over in Athens, right, Bill?
No question about it. And that's the thing that Auburn's hoping that they have, because they feel like they've got most of the pieces right now if they can stay healthy and some of the playmakers that they're expecting to be able to help Peyton Thorne can step up.
Yeah. All right, Bill, tell everybody where they can find you over there, about your show and everything, all your great stuff.
Yeah, it's the Drive every day, 4 to 6 on ESPN 106.7. You can check us online at ESPNAU.com or radioalabama.net. Hope you could, we welcome callers all the time, get them from all kinds of different places. And I'd love to have you join the show. And if you can't make it, check out our podcast.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
You too. There's Bill Cameron. We appreciate him joining us each and every Wednesday. All right, let's tell them about Bryant Bank before we get to break here.
Well, Bryant Bank with 4 locations in Tuscaloosa, not only there, but in Birmingham as well. A homegrown bank, a bank that you can go into and feel comfortable with a banker, feel comfortable that your money is safe. I think that's a big thing, so much fraud in this day and time. Being able to bank online around the clock is important. Being able to know that you're working with a bank that's homegrown, been in Tuscaloosa since 2005, and a bank that you can deal with an easy response. They're there to help you. They know what they're doing. They've been very successful. I've had several people call me and tell me that they've gone to Bryant Bank since we've been talking about them, and how good it makes them feel to be able to go into a bank where everybody is sort of the way they think it should be, and they're comfortable with it. So give them a call. Tell them you've heard it only inside the locker room with Barry and I. And if you go by there and mention it, mention our show to them, and also call me and tell me that you joined up with them.
All right, we'll take the break here. We're up on the phone lines. The rest of the show, 205-342-9904. We'll look at week 1 of the college football season, which gets started on Thursday night, August 29th. We'll look through these first opponents for some of these SEC teams and maybe kind of get Justin and Dad's opinion on with who these teams will open up with. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Years ago, Jimmy Rain decided that the best way to advertise Great Southernwood was through coaches. Gene Stallings, Pat Dye, Steve Spurrier, and myself, and many more coaches took to the radio and TV airwaves to tell people that if you're building outdoors, the only way to build is with pressure-treated pine, yellow wood. It is the very, very best. Why? Because all the coaches said yellow wood Pressure-treated pine protects against bug, termite, and weather. Decking, fencing, play sets, whatever you're wanting to build, just go to the internet, look at Yellowwood.
Commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental-car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance and is backed by an entire team of people you know and trust. Rent a Toyota and let's go places. Reserving yours is a breeze at TuscaloosaToyota.com.
My caretaker was very rough with me. I thought they did it because I wasn't moving fast enough.
Elder abuse is a crime, and together we can stop it. If you or someone you know has been abused, neglected, or exploited, call the Adult Abuse Hotline at 1-800-458-7214. That's 1-800-458-7214. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Department of Justice, ADECA grant number 18VA-VS050, the ABA, and this station.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. I don't know, Dale, what your philosophy is on your first game of the year. I think you probably would prefer to probably play somebody you can beat, get off to a good start. Your fan base can get down on you so fast, especially in this league. But I think maybe your job security as well, like Arkansas, which will open up on Thursday night. I guess they're the first SEC game out of the chute. They're playing Arkansas Pine Bluff. Sam Pittman probably does not need to lose the first game coming off of last year's seasons. No, I'm saying he won't. So this is probably the right schedule for Pine Bluff to go in there, get a win, everybody feel good about themselves. So I think that probably sets up good for Arkansas, correct?
What it does, first of all, it's a cheap win. It doesn't cost you a lot to get them in there, so it's a cheap win for you financially. It is a win. When you get through telling Arkansas's record at the end of the season, you add that in the win column, and it's not a game they're going to lose. So I think it's probably a smart thing for them to do. They're borderline right now. I mentioned yesterday that with a 16-team league, if you're in the bottom five when it's over, they're on you pretty heavy. You won't be around long if you stay that way. You never know from year to year exactly how your team is going to be in football and basketball. You think you've got some good transfers in football. You hope you do. Your assistant coaches have told you that they can do this and that. You didn't know you were going to lose a guy who you thought you had at the last minute. So it's an unsettling situation for all these coaches, and there's 16 of them next year. People are unhappy with you if you do not get in the 12-team playoff. Barry, I don't know how many you think will get in the 12-team playoff from the SEC. For both of us, it's a guess. We could take the ACC and say probably 2. We could take the Big 12 and say probably 2, 3, which leaves 8, about 8 for the SEC and Big 10. So that's a 4 apiece. You may have a different number than me.
There'll be some non-power 4, 2 or 2 like that get in.
There will be a non-power team that's in the country that is not affiliated with anybody hardly get in. So it's it's a disgusting time for your fans if you don't make it in the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, also on that Thursday night, Murray State, Coach Wright just took the job over there, so I know he's excited, and they'll travel to Missouri and take on the Missouri. That's a strict bye there. But I think Murray State will obviously be a much better opponent than Arkansas Pine Bluff, so Missouri will have to play in order to win that game. But they should get done. All right, get to the Yellowwood hotline. Get Tom back in. Good morning, Tom.
Tom. Morning, Barry. Morning, Coach. Will you clarify something for me?
If I can.
Did Bill tell Coach Sanderson that Auburn is struggling in the transfer portal for backcourt people?
Did Bill say they were struggling?
I don't know if he said just for backcourt people or maybe use the word a struggle for recruiting. I'm not remember exactly the exact words he said. I was sort of trying to lead up to the fact that the point guard had left to go to Alabama, and I thought he was good, not great, but good. And I just was trying to figure out if they got anybody. He didn't really come out with that.
Well, I think I must have misunderstood him then. I thought I took it. I don't know if he said it, but I took it as that they were kind of struggling with trying to fill out their roster with the people that they thought were good enough.
Well, they're after a couple of guys who've got some off the court baggage, and a lot, and they're I think trying to decide, if a guy's got some off the court baggage, and then you turn around and give him a bunch of money, his baggage gets heavier.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you something else. Woody Allen, the great writer and producer and so forth in the movie, he always said 95% of being a genius is showing up on time.
Yeah.
If you're not there, you ain't very good.
Yeah, that's right. It's complicated.
Thank you, Tom.
It's a complicated thing.
Thank you, Tom.
Compared to Alabama's recruiting on paper, just on paper, Alabama is way ahead. Not any contest, Sears and no Sears. Alabama's had a lot of people leave, but a little bit. Some of them are somewhat contributors, and some of them are less contributors. Estrada leaves. They had to because he finished up, and he was a good contributor, a very good player, not an NBA player, but a player that could go somewhere and play some kind of league. But he's the only one. He's the one that had to leave, and there's always. It's amazing to me that people it's so disgusted when you get to a Final Four. I mean, players. I'm referring to. They're looking to go somewhere else. He just got to the Final Four, so it's the world is different, and players are totally different as far as trying to keep them and recruit them and buy them and the people around them. You have to deal with the people around. I'm going to get this guy on in the next day or two. While I'm thinking of it, my memory goes left and right. I'm hoping tomorrow to get Jimmy Rain on at 8:15. They texted him just now to see if he would be on. So I know that's not the conversation right now, but I'll forget it if I don't.
All right, back to the Yellowwood hotline. Morning, Digger.
How's it going?
Good, man.
Hey, Dig.
Y'all need to ask David Benoit. How's the food in Lafayette?
How what?
How's the food in Lafayette?
Yeah. Well,
it's ridiculously good.
Oh, it is?
Oh, my goodness. It's like New Orleans on steroids.
Really?
It's a wonder if he's even 300 pounds. I don't know how anybody can survive.
Well, he doesn't live there now. He's in Atlanta.
Oh, he's in Georgia now. Wasn't that a good interview?
That was an excellent interview. Very nice guy, too. But, boy, Lafayette, whew, how did he leave that town? Yeah. Food is ridiculous. Well, go look at the menu on a restaurant called the French Press. And I'm telling you, New Orleans has 10 or 15 world-class chefs. Lafayette's got 25. They all go back home. They'll go to France and go to that culinary school, and then they come back, and they just want to go back home. The food is ridiculously good there. But real quick, little message to Philip. You better prepare yourself for Oklahoma. I'm not talking them up. Boy, they are garbage when it comes to sports, but let me tell you, they are the consummate fly in the ointment. They'll wreck your season, and when they're good, they're good. All you got to do is look at that softball team. Look at that gymnastics team.
Yeah, the softball team's good. Yeah, they're good.
And look,
well, Digger,
you don't believe me? Ask Nebraska.
Yeah. Is Oklahoma or Texas A&M Dale's biggest rival? I know the answer.
Oh, wait. Those are the two games I'm worried about coming to football. Being dead serious. I'm not the least bit concerned about Michigan, and I don't know why y'all think we're going to lose to Georgia. Go take a look at that Sugar Bowl a couple of years ago. I'm telling you, we'll be ready for Georgia. It's Oklahoma and A&M. Why? The emotion always seems to get in the way. It's a crapshoot. Maybe you'll win. If you're not ready for that game, it's over with. So, yeah. But ask Nebraska about Oklahoma. They'll tell you. They're ridiculous. They love their sport, and they'll do anything to win, including cheating. So,
you need to be worried. You need to be worried about Colorado State, Digger.
You think Oklahoma cheat?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you why I'm worried about Colorado State. It'll only be 110 at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You know?
ESPN.
Texas is not going to pass up the money when it comes to television money. So, yeah, we'll give you the money if you play at 2:30. Really? In 110? Yeah, we'll be sweating it out big time that day.
That will be hot. 2:30 in Austin, Texas. On August
150 on the turf.
Yeah. Oof. That may be a loss. That may be a loss there, Digger. Thank you, my man.
Yeah.
All right, there's Digger. All right, we'll take the break, and then we'll get Cowboy in, and we'll wrap up the show. You listen to Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC is the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Traveling along McFarland Boulevard from Airport to Jack Warner. That's clocking in at an easy 9 minutes along the way. Southbound 69 from Middle Area Road to 15th Street, 11 minutes there. And on 2059 from the...
Day number 1 in West Alabama, you do whatever it takes to make you happy. Townsend Nissan, number 1 for a reason on Skyland Boulevard.
The Alabama Securities Commission protects you from financial fraud. Anyone asking you for investment money must be licensed. You're careful with your money. Fraudsters aren't. Before you invest, call our hotline at 1-800-222-1253 to verify the licensing of the person making an offer and the product.
Who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
365 24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow truck, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on.
Because Lowe's knows spring savings. Offers valid through 5/15. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
My caretaker was very rough with me. I thought they did it because I wasn't moving fast enough.
Elder abuse is a crime, and together we can stop it. If you or someone you know has been abused, neglected, or exploited, call the Adult Abuse Hotline at 1-800-458-7214. That's 1-800-458-7214. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Department of Justice, ADECA grant number 18VA-VS050, the ABA, and this station.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A partly sunny sky today, the high in the low 80s, around 82. Clear tonight, the low 60. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warmer, the high 88. Friday becoming cloudy, a chance of showers and thunderstorms by afternoon, the high at 80. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 71 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Mr. SEC Tournament Wimp Sanderson gives you his excellent analysis every weekday on Inside the Locker Room, right here on Tide 100.9.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker Room. Right, get right to the Yellowwood hotline. Go out to Texas, get Cowboy in. Good morning, Cowboy.
Hey, Barry. Hey, Coach. How you doing?
We're okay.
I got a couple of things here. Hey, Coach, a buddy of mine, his daughter was in a doctor's office yesterday filling out some paperwork. He told me a story. Somebody said, hey, a guy in a red elephant shirt don't know how to fill that out or write or something to that effect. And he said he looked up and it was you, Coach. He said that was funny.
Where was that? Where was I?
A doctor's office yesterday. Him and his daughter were in there.
I don't know. I got so many problems with doctor stuff. I don't know where I am, to be honest.
Well, he said he thought it was funny. He said I hadn't seen him in a while since I was in school, but oh well. Hey, Monday, Tom was talking about how he'd been to the Colonial. That's a great golf tournament. That's old school. It's like going to Rickwood Field of baseball. You know, it's really cool. I saw some good tournaments out there in the early 2000s. I was out there the day that woman golfer, Monica Sorensen. What was her name? I think she played. That was a wild scene out there that day. I can't remember what year it was, but I went and she didn't make the cut. But that Colonial is a great tournament if you're ever out there. And plus, they give a plaid jacket like you wear, Coach, away.
Yeah, I need that.
Mickelson's won it a couple times, and it's really a good tournament. Who y'all like in the PGA this Saturday? I know everybody's going to say Scotty Scheffler. Can I take the field and beat him?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you could take the field and beat Scheffler.
Oh, yeah, sure. You can take the field and beat him, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You'd take off a couple weeks and with the baby and all that. I would be surprised. If Scheffler wins this one, then he's almost unbeatable. I'll be surprised if Scheffler wins this one. But you never know.
I saw where Roy McIlroy's got Tiger Williams' divorce lawyer, so he's headed to court.
Is he getting a divorce?
Yeah.
Oh, that ain't good.
Yeah.
That ain't good. So
I guess I remember he dated that tennis star, Caroline Wozniacki, but then they broke it off, and she married David Lee, the Florida Gator basketball player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember David Lee.
Did you coach against him, Barry?
Yes, I did. David Lee was a good player. He's from St. Louis. Good player.
Yeah.
Funny shot, but he was a good player. All right, Cowboy, we got to get out of here. Gary's frowning at me, so we got to get out. And we got to give Gary all his time. Oop, he just lost Cowboy. All right, that's it for today's show. So just keep it locked in. The Gary Harris Show is next. I know he's got Bobby Sproul on the day at 10:30. Congratulations to Coach Sproul and the Shelton State Buccaneers. They're headed out to Colorado to play in the World Series. Only 8 teams make it out there. I know this is, I think, 2 out of 3 years that they've been second year in a row. So Coach Sproul's a great guy and does a great job out there. You listen to Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports. Have a great day, everybody.